Yo, welcome to the channel called Keep Low. You know what I mean? Thank you for rocking out with Keep Low. I appreciate you all. And I am LASHEIM the God. You know the company is called Keep Low. You can go to www.keeplowproductions to get your Keep Low Production shirts. Yo, like and share this fucking video. You dig? Hit me with a thumbs up. You dig? I'm giving you that real shit. And if you don't know me, I do videos on street legends. And you know, I give you knowledge that'll help you elevate your life. So once again, go to www.keeplowproductions.com and just fuck with me. LASHEIM the God. Peace. Yo, peace, y'all. What it do? LASHEIM the God. Keep low. We are definitely in effect. Yo, check it out. Today, I got a good video in store for y'all. This video, as y'all see in the title, is about Alpo Martinez and Rayful Edmond. And the reason why the video is about both of them is I want to give y'all my perception of seeing the situation and why I think they both turned federal informants. So y'all stay tuned for this video and we're gonna get into this. Just keep low. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Okay, for those who don't know, Alpo Martinez, he was a drug kingpin in New York. You know what I mean? He jumped off the porch at a very young age. You know what I mean? Just to give you a short bio on him, he was at first rolling with Randy Love, and he was allegedly doing juxes. You know what I mean? And for those who don't know what a jux is, that's when you come with the banger and be like, give me your money. You know what it is. But anyway, so that's just for educational purposes. But on another note, so Alpo was rolling with Randy and he was getting some money because they was going up in a lot of Dominican spots and, you know, Cuban spots or whatever. And they was juxing the people in there that were drugs dealers, you feel me? So Alpo knew Spanish, but he looked at black. Y'all know how Alpo looked at. So that's why they was successful in their endeavors in that. That's one element of why they were successful. But moving on, Alpo ended up meeting a guy named Richard Porter and a guy named AZ Faison. And then he got rocking with them. You know, he got the jukebox from AZ or whatever. He got some twerk with Rich or whatever. And they all started blowing up. Y'all know the movie Paid in Full. If you ain't go check that out too, because it's a good movie. But to get more into it, so Alpo Martinez, he started getting money in New York. You know, they were multi-kilo dealers. And then he went out to DC. Okay, now let's get into Rayful Edmond. Rayful Edmond was a big, enormous drug kingpin from Washington, D.C. But initially, you know, he was a very intelligent young man, and he was going to school or whatever, and he was doing well in school. He was like an A student, or he was a very smart guy, and he still is to this day, you feel me? But, you know, he got into the D-Rug game, which is drug game, just for educational purposes. Get with my ebonics, you know what I mean? But D-Rug means drugs. So he got into the D-Rug game. Now, Rayful, he was way more organized than Alpo was. Not taking anything from Alpo Martinez, but Rayful was way more organized and in depth with his endeavors while he dealt in the drug game, the D-Rug game. You feel me? The reason why I say Rayful was way more endeavor, not just because he got crazy larger economical scale than Alpo, meaning his finances was way more than what Alpo and Rich and AZ had. You know what I mean? He was dealing with one of the third largest drug dealers in the world, which is Griselda's Griselda Blanco. Y'all all know Griselda Blanco from the movie Cocaine Cowboys. But when Rayful ended up getting locked up in Washington, D.C., because look, Rayful was already moving at least 300 to 400 kilos a month just for educational purposes. This is why he was free in Washington, D.C. So his money was on another scale than Rich and Alpo, because they was picking, Alpo Martinez probably picking up 100 bricks or maybe 150 bricks. And I'm not going to say what his apex is, meaning the most, but 150 bricks on record. You feel me? But Rayful was doing 400 bricks, 300, 400, 500 bricks per month in Washington, D.C. before he got incarcerated. And that's according to the federal government. So anyway, like the way Rayful was running his organization, he was doing it periodically. Like he had shifts where people was rocking shifts, and he had 3 shifts a day. See, like initially he was doing 2 shifts and he was getting large scales of money. So then he implemented 3 shifts into his organization, and he was really being organized and on point about it. So what he was doing, he got 3 lieutenants, 1 lieutenant to watch each shift, like a 7 to 3 and then a 3 to 11, you know, etc. So he had the lieutenants watching his shifts, and it's alleged that he was moving 9 kilograms per day. Now that's crazy. You feel me? But I'm not glorifying this drug stuff, because that's negative. But y'all gonna see, because Rayful ended up turning federal informant, and so did Alpo Martinez, and that's the reason why I'm doing this video. Okay, going back to Alpo. Alpo ended up getting caught up. He went out to D.C. He started getting money. You know, he got involved with a lot of murders out in D.C. And, you know, things just started going left. And in his own words, Alpo said that the power got to him. You feel me? Because when he did an analogy, which meaning analyzing his own life in a different perspective from viewing it after he came home, and he was asked the question, so why did you do so many murders and all of that? And he was like, it was the power that got to me. You feel me? So that was one thing that aided in Alpo Martinez's downfall. You feel me? Not that I'm wishing that on him, but we're just looking at it from what transpired. So anyway, he ended up going out to D.C. and getting with Wayne Perry and Little Pop and a lot of other associates and Big Head Gary and them. Y'all know the story. So he ended up getting apprehended by the federal government. You know, the FBI, DEA, all that. They apprehended him. So he got locked up, and he was facing the death penalty, like a lethal injection. They put your lights out, the government. You feel me? So he ended up turning federal informant, and he did 26 years. Alpo Martinez ended up copping out to 14 murders and being a drug kingpin. You know what I mean? On a RICO statute, was racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. But he ended up copping out to that. So in part of his deal of cooperating, he had to tell on a lot of people as well as himself. You know what I mean? Like, he had to tell the feds all the stuff that he did. So he had to implicate a lot of people that did murders. So that's why Wayne Perry's got all those life sentences, and a lot of other people got fucked over because of what Alpo did. You feel me? Okay, but look, Alpo Martinez, this is how they was different about the situation. Alpo Martinez ended up getting caught up, right? He laid up for maybe 2-3 years, maybe 18 months or something, you feel me? And then the feds started talking to him and then he ended up making his deal. You feel me? Not saying this shit is right. I mean, not saying that this shit is right what he did, but we just stating the facts of what he ended up doing. You feel me? So the difference between him and Rayful, even though they both turned federal informant, is Rayful got locked up. He stayed strong and wore it in some of the worst federal penitentiaries. He was in Lewisburg. And look, not only did he go into Lewisburg from getting arrested for what he was doing on the streets of Washington, D.C., and according to the federal government, Rayful Edmond is the biggest drug kingpin that ever came out of the whole Washington, D.C. and the whole history of man. You feel me? So he was on another level. But check it out. Not only that with Rayful, what Rayful did, and I'm not glorizing this drug shit, so don't get it messed up, because all of y'all out there who's thinking about you're going to be the next Rayful, you're going to be the next Alpo, look, they were drug kingpins. That was in a different era. We got too much potential and we could build. But getting back into the story, Rayful stayed strong for 18 years. And look, check it. He got sent to Lewisburg Federal Prison, right? They gave him a life sentence for being a big drug kingpin. All right. Rayful, he wasn't really with the murders because he knew in his mind that he was there to get the money. You feel me? And I'm not saying no murders didn't occur around him allegedly, but he had all kind of good people that go hard for him. He had some real dudes around him. You feel me? Don't get it misconstrued. But he was just amplifying intelligence where he knew all the drama was going to mess up his money. So he was moving differently, and that's why he excelled more than these other guys. That's why he was the real, you know what I mean? So anyway, Rayful ended up going into Lewisburg prison because he got arrested in Washington, D.C., right? When he got in there, I did another video on this with Griselda Blanco, Pablo Escobar, and Rayful. So y'all check that out. Just check out my whole video catalog and just show the channel love, because give me a thumbs up. I'll be giving y'all some real shit. You feel me? LASHEIM the God. Keep Low is the channel. You feel me? Subscribe. And if you not subscribed, you heard me, subscribe, you dig? So anyway, Rayful did when he got into Lewisburg, he was there only like, pardon me, he was there only like 18 months. And he was there 18 months. And he was seeing Griselda Blanco's son, Chicky, and Chicky was seeing him. But they just never had nobody to say, yo, Rayful, this is Chicky. Chicky, this is Rayful. So somehow that ended up happening when they was in Lewisburg Federal Prison. So they ended up becoming cellmates. You know how niggas make moves, and you know these are big dudes. So they probably got some CO to transfer their cells, and they ended up being cellmates. So when they became cellmates, that's when they started making crazy moves. Now check it out. According to the federal government, while Rayful was in his cell in Lewisburg prison, he was on the phone like probably 4 or 5 hours a day, making calls to Colombia and different shit like that. And yo, he was moving more kilos, aka birds, just for educational purposes, bricks. But he was moving more bricks than he was when he was free, because he got the big connect from the Cali cartel, which was Chicky, right? So anyway, Chicky ended up going home. So when Chicky went home, Rayful really did his thing because Chicky was home and free, and they was still connecting. So Rayful did his thing stupidly, and then Chicky ended up getting murdered, and Rayful had gave a lot of his people, like, he would give dudes bricks on consignment. You feel me? And for those who don't know, consignment is when somebody gives you something and you pay the money later. They give it to you up front and then you pay their money later. That's just grown man shit. And if you ain't built for that, don't get involved in that, because that can happen. You feel me? And that's just for educational purposes. But stay away from that whole game. Not just my advice to you. You could take my advice or you could throw it away. You feel me, dig me? But yo, keep low at the channel. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. But check it out. So like I was telling y'all, Rayful was dealing with Chicky, right? Which is Griselda Blanco's son. And y'all know Griselda Blanco is the godmother of cocaine, the cocaine queen from the movie Cocaine Cowboys, right? So Chicky ended up getting murdered. He went to a nightclub in Colombia, and you know, he had a little quarrel or whatever, argument, and shots was fired, and he ended up getting the losing stick of that. So Chicky got rocked. Blessings to him, you feel me? But so Rayful had gave a lot of people birds, and they would just, he was like giving 50 bricks, 100 bricks, 60 bricks over here. And dudes, you know, bricks is a lot of money. That's a kilo for educational purposes. So dudes was owing him 30,000 for one, or 20,000 for one, whatever they was owing him, and he was giving them 60, and they was just deading him because he was in jail. Not saying that he was a sucker, but you know, that's how business be going sometimes. So dudes was deading him on the money. So when they was deading him on the money, but he was making so much money back that him and Chicky was still having good business. And he was telling Chicky about the situation where dudes was deading him on the money, but Rayful's in a cage in Lewisburg. He can't really make too many moves. He probably could do a couple of things, but you know, he was telling Chicky the serious shit. So Chicky was being understanding because him and Rayful was cellies and they was friends. You know what I mean? They acquired a friendship, a brothership, or whatever, right? So when Chicky got murdered, the Cali cartel, they still wanted their guap, which is their money, right? So they wanted their money, and they was telling Rayful, like, you gotta get the money. You better like get the money. And he knew that's some Colombian cartel niggas, so he gotta get the guap. So he started calling out to his people in the streets, and he was telling them, yo, get the money. And I figured he had mass shit weighing on him. You know, you can't fuck with the Colombians like that. They body shit fast. You mean they give you this fast. So anyway, Rayful was telling these dudes on the outside, if y'all don't give me the money, y'all gonna end up coming in here with me. You feel me? So dudes wasn't taking heed to what he's saying. Oh, he just talking, you know, whatever. So Rayful ended up turning federal informant, and he ended up telling on some Colombians, and he ended up telling on all the dudes who wasn't paying him and shit like that. But yo, my take of why Rayful did it, because look, Rayful, check it, he was being stand up. Now check it, when Rayful got gobbled up, right, which is arrested, get the click-clacks on your wrists and taken away, that's gobbled up. You know, like Pac-Man, they eat the things. Well, the police just come gobble your ass up and lock you in some warehouse for the rest of your fucking life. You feel me? Don't fuck with that. So anyway, Rayful got gobbled up, right? So when he got gobbled up, they was wanting him to break, and he wasn't breaking. So they gobbled up his moms, and they gobbled up like 4 or 5 of his siblings. They gobbled up like 3 or 4 of his sisters and locked them all in federal penitentiaries. And they locked his aunt up because, look, they hit him with a conspiracy charge. Now, conspiracy charge is like people acting in concert with one another. Like, you got a gang, so they hit you with some gang conspiracy shit, right? So that's like, if I'm in a gang and you in a gang and he in a gang and we in a gang, and I do a murder, the murder go to the whole gang because I'm part of the organization, because whatever the fuck I was doing prior to me doing the murder, or just for educational purposes, prior for whatever I do before I click-clack somebody, that's like, y'all was helping me get there. Y'all was my muscle, or y'all was aiding me in any way. So that's why they say conspiracy. Now, when they hit you with the RICO, that's a conspiracy law. It's really serious because they could just, like, his aunt was on the TV like, yo, I didn't even do nothing. Rayful was just coming to my house, and you know, that's my nephew. He my baby. I gave him a key. He would come in 3 in the morning, let his man cut his hair, and they would do whatever they do. And look, I'm pretty sure he wasn't doing too much in his aunt's house because of the scale that he was on. And then look, they got this other chick that was no good. She was a rat too, but the other chick went up to Rayful mother, and look, she was Rayful mother good friend for years. You feel me? An older lady, like probably in her 50s, 60s, both of them, whatever, right? So she went up to Rayful mom's, and you know, that's her girlfriend. So she was like, how your son blew up. But this chick must have had got gobbled up with some coke or something bad, and the cops had some fire under her ass. So they told her, go set your friend up. So they wanted Rayful so bad that they got his mother's friend to put on a wire and go talk to his mother. And she was like, how your son get so much money? And Rayful mother started talking about, you know, some of his stuff. And Rayful said that his mother probably wasn't even talking about him, but she started talking, and that's part of how she got in it too. So they gobbled his moms up, and they was wanting him to tell on all his plugs, you know, his Cali cartel and all them niggas, and he wasn't telling. And he stayed strong for 18 years, and his mom stayed locked up, and his sister stayed locked up, and his aunt stayed locked up. So I guess when he was in Lewisburg Federal Prison, he wasn't getting the money that he was getting on the streets, because on the streets, it was his work. So he was able to sell his work and recoup all the money. You feel me? But when he was in federal prison, he was just connecting some other dudes with Chicky and the people in Colombia without letting them know Chicky. You feel me? So he would tell Chicky what they want, and he would tell the people what they want, and he would arrange the deal from jail. So they was probably just throwing him 20,000 here, 30,000 there. When he was on the streets, he would have getting more than that. But he was just getting that kind of money. Like he said, I think 200,000-300,000 a year or something. So that's way more than he was making, way less than he was making on the streets. So when dudes that he really trusted, who he was getting the bricks, put his back up against the wall because they just kept the bricks and said, F-U-C-K him, you feel me? And just left him where he's sitting in a federal pen where the Colombians could get anybody to kill him while he's in jail. So he just told on them niggas. And that's why I think Rayful told. And the reason why I think Alpo Martinez told from the beginning is because they put Alpo in a situation where it was like, you're going to get the death penalty. You never going to go back out on the streets at the least. And look, you're going to have mad drama in there and all this and all that other shit. And you know, Alpo was a stand-up dude. I'm pretty sure he could hold down prison because he ended up having to hold it down for 26, 28 years anyway before he came home riding the big red motorcycle and riding his truck. But I think that Alpo just was the type of person that was like, if it's either me or you, nah, fuck that, it's you or you, never me, that kind of shit. So he got into a situation where it was either him or Wayne and all the people he told on, and he just said, fit up them niggas. And that's how I go sometimes, you know what I mean? Because in the game, niggas that tell you play by the rules, but in that fucking dirty street game, listen to me, come close. It ain't no fucking rules. Keep low the company. Don't let them fuck you up telling you it's rules and all this crazy shit. Because look, you'll be the dumb motherfucker who be like, and I'm not saying it's dumb to do this because I'm with death before dishonor. Don't get it fucked up. Keep your morals, principles, and scruples together. But everything, there's a proper time and place for everything. And in that game, it ain't no rules. And if you think it's rules, you see what Alpo did to Wayne? Motherfucking Wayne was holding him down, bodying shit for him, keeping it true. And the death before dishonor shit. But it came to a fork in the road where it was either my ass or his, and Alpo said, fuck that nigga. And a lot of niggas that do that, fuck that nigga shit. And I'm not making it right. I'm not making it right at all, so don't get that fucked up. Don't get in my comments say, oh, LA's with the snitching shit because I did a video on two dudes. I just give you my perspective of how I see shit, and y'all could just get in the comments and tell me how y'all see it if y'all see it different. But let's be respectful. You feel me? Dig me? But that's why I think Rayful snitch, because the niggas just started treating him like he ain't they man and like fuck this nigga and this and that. And look, not only that, they put him in a situation where if he didn't recoup a lot of money or take his own personal money and pay these Colombians back, he could die. And they reap the benefits of that shit because he ended up giving them the bricks and he didn't get that. He was doing them a favor and they left him fucked. So he told on them niggas. And look, I guess he told on the Colombians. He probably just got tired of the drug game. And again, I don't think none of that shit is right. You feel me? So, like I said, my advice to y'all is stay the fuck away from the game. But, yo, this LASHEIM the God, keep loaded company. Subscribe to the channel. Peace, y'all.